Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that? Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints on this Tuesday evening. And I appreciate you for stopping by. For a few minutes, we're going to be talking a little bit about some notable names going to IR and the Saints activating some guys and putting someone on the practice squad. But first, shouts out to everybody in the chat right now. Shouts out to everybody at home. This won't be long. This is kind of like a little, I guess, like a pregame as we transition over to the NFC South Roundtable to talk NFC South football. And I hope to see you all over there. The link is in the chat and is also in the description. But let's go ahead and get into it. Talk a little bit about some unfortunate news for the New Orleans Saints. Erik McCoy, as well as Kendre Miller, were put on IR on Tuesday, pretty much bringing their season to an end. Erik McCoy, starting center, according to Pro Football Focus, the best center in all of the National Football League, definitely was the straw that stirred the drink on the offensive line. He will be greatly missed. And Kendre Miller seems like he was starting to live up to his potential. Seemed like he was just primed to have a monster game sooner rather than later. But unfortunately, those two men will not be with the team. And the Saints have kind of been relatively healthy across the board. Last week, it was probably one of their best injury reports they've had all season long, where you had all of your guys out there, the ones that you were depending on to start at the beginning of the season. Well, at least, a few of them. Of course, Julian Blackmon isn't available at the safety position. And, you have a couple guys that went down as well. But all in all, you pretty much had everybody at your disposal. And now the New Orleans Saints are going to have to turn the page and figure out how they're going to be able to compensate for the loss of these two players. Most importantly, Erik McCoy. Erik McCoy is the best center in football, and it's going to be hard to replace him. I look at Kendre Miller. I think that he was doing some really good things, but I really believe in rookie running back Devin Neal. I don't think a lot of people paid that much attention to him early during the offseason process, during training camp. He had that hamstring injury, so he didn't play in the first two preseason games, but in that third game, you kind of saw the flashes of what Devin Neal can be. I think that Devin Neal is a really smart football player. I believe his father was a coach. And anybody that has ever watched a Kansas football game, it was clear to see who was the best player on that team. And I think that he can bring something to the table that the New Orleans Saints are missing. And I think that he will be one of those guys that's going to step in and perform and do a really good, admirable job. I think that a lot of people got him on their radar based on that blitz pickup that he had, where you had a Brisker who was coming on a blitz, and I mean he was free as salvation, and all of a sudden in comes Devin Neal and just pushes him out of the way at the last minute. Just shows his football instincts and his ability to be able to block. So I want to see Devin Neal and see what he can do. This is a great opportunity for him. It's unfortunate for Kendre Miller, but somebody has got to step up. But the New Orleans Saints did activate Velus Jones, signed him to the active roster. Velus Jones has played in a few games throughout the year. He was released a couple of weeks ago, but the Saints bring him back. He served as a running back, a kick return. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably have something for him, maybe coming in a rotational role. And also Audric Estime is a guy who came from the Denver Broncos. And, if you watch that preseason game where the Saints played the Broncos, it's pretty obvious and pretty plain to see what Estime could actually bring to the table. But he is joining the practice squad. And those are the guys that the Saints have signed and replaced, to fill in. As far as the center position, it's probably going to be Fortner, the guy that they got in a via trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and maybe Torricelli Simpkins will probably move over, or even Cesar Ruiz, who plays center at the University of Michigan before he was drafted by the Saints and they moved him to right guard. But they have a lot of things that they can actually do on the offensive line. We'll see what the New Orleans Saints decide to do with that. But look, man, I don't want to really go into too many details or anything else. Like I said, we're short on time. I'm going to go ahead and take the next 5 minutes to go ahead and read some comments, see what you all have to say, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the NFC South Roundtable. Like I said, that link is in the comments as well as in the chat. Says, I saw your post on XTJ, bring back MVS. Yeah, I mean, Marquez Valdez-Scantling was, a yards after the catch type guy. He had some speed. He wasn't afraid to go across the middle, wasn't afraid to make a tough catch. And, I think the Saints are missing that. So I'm definitely advocating for that, although, I know he's dealing with an injury, but at the end of the day, I mean, who's not? That block was crazy. Yeah, I mean, that was a really good blitz pickup and really instinctive on his part. Y'all be calling me a troll one day. Y'all going to be like, who that knows it all? Let's see. Welp season over. Might as well put Shuck for experience. I think that's coming sooner rather than later. And I put a video out on Bleacher kind of talking about that. And, I think it's going to come. I mean, the fact is the New Orleans Saints are 1-6, not making the playoffs, going to be in a basement in the division, going to be picking in the top 3. So when it's all said and done, you might as well see what you have in Tyler Shuck so you can be able to evaluate the quarterback position just in case you need to go into the draft to maybe possibly draft like, a Mendoza or, try to draft like some of these other guys that are out here, a Lenore Sellers. Like, I know people are tired of this whole quarterback experience, but look, you keep picking a quarterback until you find the right one. And you have to be able to have a guy that checks all the boxes. And this is not my opinion of how I feel about any one of these quarterbacks. It's just the reality. If you don't feel like the quarterback that you have on your roster, the quarterbacks that you have at your disposal are not giving you what you feel like you need, and you have to like overcompensate for what they cannot bring to the table, you got to go out here and pick that, because we can believe that the New Orleans Saints are on a downtick, but I like to feel like they're in a rebuilding process. I look at this team and I just think that they don't have enough talent to be able to weather the storm. So with that, I think that that's the reason why it resorts in losses week after week after week. So if you can get yourself a quarterback that you feel like can, lead you, be able to put the team on the back, and also be able to make talent better around him as he progresses, I think you need to go ahead and do that. I'm not tired of searching for the right person. You got to keep on trying until you actually get it right. Now, if you feel like that guy's in a building, by all means, you can go out here and get yourself a really talented pass rush or a really talented, impactful player on any side of the football you choose. But you need to be able to figure out what you have in Tyler Shuck, and can he be the future of this franchise? And I'm not saying like, if he goes out there and he throws an interception or something like that. That's not grounds to say that this guy isn't a franchise guy. I'm talking about, how does he look? Does he have a control of the offense? Is he getting the guys in and out of the huddle? Is he understanding what the defense is throwing at him? Is he getting the ball where it needs to be? That is the question. All right. So if he's doing that, I have absolutely no problem with it, but you need to figure it out so you can make the right decision to try to get that quarterback of the future if you don't have him in the building. As much as I wanted to see Rattler succeed at this point, we got to play Shuck. It's about the future now. Rattler is a victim of circumstance. Look, I think when you look at Spencer Rattler, I just think that Spencer Rattler is a solid quarterback. And I keep using the word solid because I want people to understand this. he's the type of quarterback that you need pieces around him in order to thrive. Like, he's not going to elevate people. Like, that's just not where he is right now. Like, eventually, if a quarterback starts to play steady and he gets playmakers around him, he'll learn and adjust and be able to put the team on his back and be able to overcome adverse situations. But he's not at that point right now. He's not that good of a quarterback at this point to be able to do that, to elevate guys. He needs guys that are already elevated. He needs players around him that are already going to make plays. All he has to do is dump it down, throw it in the flat, and that player is going to make a play. But the New Orleans Saints don't have that on their team right now. So it's unfortunate. So with that, I just think that, you have to figure out, is this something that might take another year, 2 years, 3 years, or is he ever going to reach that point? And if not, then it's unfortunate. You have to move on, man. Like, my opinions and my views means absolutely nothing. Like, I like Spencer Rattler. I want to see him succeed. But if he's not giving you what you need, like from a organizational standpoint, like, you got to go in a different direction. And if Tyler Shuck is not giving you what you need, then you got to go in a different direction too. TJ, you like Mendoza over Ty Simpson? Yes, I do. I like Ty Simpson. I just think that Ty Simpson, I think that he's a talented guy, but to me, Mendoza is a guy that he's extremely accurate. He's more athletic, in my opinion, than Ty Simpson. And, I think that he can spin that rock. And I think that he has I think he has greater upside than Ty Simpson. I really do. I'm not to say that Ty Simpson is bad. He's not. I just think that Mendoza is extremely talented, man. Like, I encourage people to check this dude out and see. I mean, from his time at UCLA, you can tell this dude could possibly be something special. But we're going to go ahead and transition over to the NFC South Roundtable. Once again, I put the link inside of the comments. I'll do it one more time for those that are here. Make sure that you come on over, support me over on the channel, rep the Who Dat Nation. Let them know, man, regardless of what the record is. Look, we still saying Who Dat loud and proud. There's so many people that fall by the wayside when their team isn't living up to expectations, and I get it. But at the end of the day, you got to root for your team, good, bad, and indifferent, and hopefully I see you over there. All right, appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Check out the State of the NFL podcast. We do live streams, and I encourage you all to subscribe to that channel as well. Till next time, all I got to say is, Who Dat?